Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. It is great to see you all again. I managed to find a minute, and so here we are. So I asked you guys last week, what do you want to hear me talk about for just a minute? And I got so many responses in the comment section and on Instagram, but there was one particular question or type of question that caught my attention, and I've been thinking about it over the past week. And so I thought, why don't we talk about it today? So guys, here is the question that I was asked. Samuel, why did you start your YouTube channel? And why do you do what you do? Really deep, isn't it? And I've pondered this over the past couple of days, and I thought I would answer it, not by giving you an answer I've come up with myself, but by giving you an answer one of my mentors gave me a little while ago. So essentially I'm going to cheat and give you an answer that's better than anything I could come up with. So, just for a bit of context, at the end of my second year of being a medical science student, one of the professors at my university, his name was Professor Thomas Millar, gave me the opportunity to do an internship in his startup company. And the company's called Beyond 700. And at this company, he's developed this really innovative piece of technology called TearView. And basically, it's a small camera that allows ophthalmologists or anyone to view the tear film. And for those of you who don't know what the tear film is, it's basically an invisible gel-like substance that sits on the outside of your eye that gets replenished every single time you blink. And up to this point, you could never see it because it's invisible. But through using infrared technology, he's created a system that's able to visualize the tear film. And it's an innovation that has the potential to change the way we diagnose and monitor eye diseases such as dry eye or cataracts. And it's so interesting to hear him talk about his innovation and the work that he does, because he's really passionate about what he does. And so one day I went up to him and I asked him, why do you do what you do? What is your end goal that you're consistently pushing towards? And so after I asked him the question, he actually paused for a second, and instead of giving me a cliche answer, he told me a story. And it was a story about the discovery of a certain Egyptian king's tomb. And the Egyptian king's name was Tutankhamun. Now, for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, you don't know anything about ancient history, I'll give you a quick summary. So, here's the context. It's the 1920s, and we have a gentleman by the name of Lord Carnarvon. Now, Lord Carnarvon was really interested in Egyptology. Now, what that means is he was really interested in the language, history, art, and culture of ancient Egypt. And he wanted to know more about it. So he managed to get a license to dig at a certain site where they believed the tomb of a certain Egyptian king was to be found. Now that king was the guy I mentioned earlier, Tutankhamun. And for those of you who don't know, the tombs and coffins of ancient Egyptian kings were really fancy things filled with treasure and gold. So they started this excavation, and Lord Carnarvon got a man by the name of Howard Carter, to be in charge of this archaeological dig. And so interestingly, many years went by without any success, and there was no great discovery that they had to show the world. Until one fine day in November 1922, when a boy, whose actual job is to be a water fetcher, starts digging in the ground with his stick, and he discovers a stone step. And then he calls Howard Carter over. He says, Mr. Carter, come and have a look. And then Howard Carter got his crew to continue digging where this boy began to dig, and then they discover a flight of steps that led down to a sealed door and a secret chamber. And so Lord Carnarvon sends Howard Carter to be the first man to walk into the chamber of the dead king. So this is the moment of Howard Carter's life, and as he's looking around and his eyes adjust to the dim light in this chamber, he begins to see things like, animals, statues, gold, treasure, artworks, paintings on the wall, all of which had been miraculously preserved and was somehow intact after thousands of years. And he stood there like amazed and awestruck until he heard the voice of Lord Carnarvon calling out to him. And Lord Carnarvon asked him, "Can you see anything?" And Howard Carter responded, "Yes, wonderful things. I see wonderful things." And here's the significance of those few words, according to my professor. You see, in this moment, Howard Carter saw the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb as so much more than the materialistic objects that could be observed. Because it was more than that. When he looked in that room, he saw the discovery of an entire culture that we know so little about. It was a discovery of an entire period of history that would go on to captivate the interest of the world into, Egypt, Egyptology, and ultimately change the world of archaeology. And people would be, studying these things for years, piecing together the story of this culture. And then that would be taught in the curriculum of schools around the world. And so when Howard Carter was asked, "What do you see?" he didn't say, "I see gold or silver or the tomb of the king or artifacts or artworks." He said, "I see wonderful things," because he saw what the discovery would mean for the world. And he wanted to make it his life's work to make other people see the wonderful things he could see. What's interesting with my professor is, this idea of "I see wonderful things" is actually really relevant to the work that he's doing. Because, he's made this really cool infrared camera that allows ophthalmologists or eye specialists to view the tear film, like something that couldn't be seen before. And so he was telling me, he does what he does because he wants other people to see the wonderful things he can see. And I remember listening to him talking to me and thinking, wow, what a brilliant answer. Because I can see how that would apply to me. But there's something universal about that. I often get asked, "Samuel, why did you start a YouTube channel? And why did you pick iPads as your topic of choice?" And what I think people don't understand is, when I was in my first year of university and I started using the iPad and I started to try out new ways of learning and exploring my curiosity and creativity, I was so excited with the results and the experience I was having that I started to tell all my friends and teachers from school. Well, not everyone, but a select few, as many as possible. And I told them how revolutionary I genuinely believe this tool could have been for them. And I think it comes back to that idea of, you might see an iPad or just some random piece of technology, but, I see wonderful things. I see what this could be in the hands of the right kind of person. And it was basically that same message that I kept telling my friends about that one product that ended up becoming my first proper YouTube video. And I guess that was just about sharing that perspective with a wider audience. And I guess the rest is history. And I've been thinking about it over the past week, and this channel isn't about iPads. This channel isn't about technology. It isn't even about education or studying. It's about wonderful things. I'm just like you. I'm a student who's struggling through my university journey, and I'm working things out as I go. And the things I share on this channel are just little insights or lessons that I've learnt from my own personal experiences and struggles and mistakes. And I always try and find something wonderful that's worth sharing from the experience. I mean, have you ever wondered, why do authors write books? Why do songwriters write songs? Why does a scientist do his research and then publish it for the world to see? Why do people give TED Talks? Why would an ordinary person start a YouTube channel? And why do artists make their art? Because they all see wonderful things, and they want to share their unique perspective with other people. And you know what? You can do that as well. It can be the same boring subject, a piece of technology, something that you're struggling with, or something that you love, and you can talk about it and bring your own unique perspective to it and share what you think is wonderful about it. And you know what? You'll be surprised at the impact you'll have on other people, simply because you decided to share something you otherwise wouldn't have. I'm not saying you have to start a YouTube channel. You can just talk to a friend and it has the same effect. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say today. I thank you for the question. It was a very interesting one. I hope what I said made sense. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next week in the next video.